opens cash flow for things you need, like hiring summer staff or adding inventory. Collect Early helps you get your invoices paid in hours, not weeks. You'll also get access to other services to efficiently run your business, like projection programs for income and expenses, so you can focus on what really powers your business, your customers.
That sounds like a pretty helpful tool, Brad, because cash flow can be an issue for small businesses. So how does that work again?
With Collect Early, you don't wait weeks to get your invoices paid. It works with just about any invoicing software. So all you need to do is drag and drop to get funds deposited in your WaFd account and use it to help run your business.
Getting paid in hours, not weeks, the way nature intended. Go to wafdbank.com or visit your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's John Curley for Closets by Design. Our closets were a mess, so I called Closets by Design. They came in and did exceptional work. Now, they're locally owned, and they've been operating for more than 2 decades. I love these guys. A family-run business with national backing, and they source almost all their products right here in Washington. Have Closets by Design come out and customize your closet. Right now, 40% off plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN or closetsbydesign.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, where we stand by our quality gutter and gutter guard systems with a 30-year no-clog guarantee on all gutter guard systems we install. Call today and get $250 off gutter guard installation or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. A new financial offer from the government for people in this country illegally. A $1,000 payment for those who self-deport. CBS's Nancy Cordes at the White House.
The White House is hoping that many of these individuals will just leave on their own and that hopefully some cash in their pockets might be an enticement for them to do that.
President Trump is moving to reopen and expand Alcatraz, the notorious California prison that was closed more than 60 years ago. Just before it shut down, it was found costs to run it were 3 times what they were at the average U.S. prison. CBS Bay Area reporter Veronica Macias.
We know how difficult it was to operate this prison back in the day. I was reading on the FBI website, even water had to be brought in by boat to this prison because nothing really is available there.
Also in California, the San Diego Sheriff's Department's confirmed multiple people are dead after a small boat overturned at Torrey Pines State Beach this morning. It's expected the New York sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs will last 2 months or more. CBS's Katrina Kaufman says jury selection's now taking place.
When I was on the security line this morning, there was someone who was showing up for jury duty, and he was saying to me, I know the Diddy trial is happening today. I really don't want to be on it.
Dozens of flight cancellations and more than 100 delays at Newark Airport this morning. The FAA blames the weather and staffing issues. There have been problems with staffing since last week. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer wants answers.
I have asked the Office of Inspector General to thoroughly investigate what's going on at Newark and in the East Coast, so these problems don't get worse.
Now to the Middle East, where Israel has a plan to capture all of Gaza and stay for an unspecified amount of time. CBS's Courtney Keeley.
The Israeli Security Cabinet made this unanimous decision to expand operations into Gaza, not just going in with troops and then leaving, but going in and staying. And their plan is to ramp it up over months. It's not happening immediately.
It's an important week for the Roman Catholic Church. A conclave of cardinals begins Wednesday.
The Vatican says all 133 cardinals with voting rights, that is, all those under the age of 80, are now in Rome. On Wednesday, they will file into the Sistine Chapel and there, under Michelangelo's luminous frescoes, begin voting until one of them wins the 2/3 majority. That means he is the successor to Pope Francis. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 92 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An inmate escapes custody at SeaTac Airport. That's one of the stories coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, It is rough going in South Seattle as it crashes blocking all southbound lanes of Airport Way South at South Hardy Street. Also in Seattle, a fatal crash investigation is underway at 4th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. And it is a struggle across the map right now. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 53 minutes, 15 longer than usual. Federal Way to Seattle, 1 hour, 20 minutes longer than typical. Renton to Bellevue, 42 minutes, 18 longer. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Police are investigating 2 separate shooting deaths that happened just hours apart in Federal Way. One took place at the Uptown Square apartment Saturday afternoon.
First, I heard one shot, which I thought was a firework, and followed by a bunch of screaming, just terror.
KIRO 7 TV reports the victim was a man in his 20s. Hours later, police say a 34-year-old man was killed at the Cove Apartment Homes off 330th Street. Police believe in that case, the victim and shooter knew each other. Seattle police are investigating a couple of weekend stabbings. Witnesses tell officers 2 men were attacked during a private event at a Pioneer Square nightclub last night. They drove themselves to Harborview and are in stable condition. In the Chinatown International District, police say 2 men were stabbed, one of them critically injured after a fight Saturday night. So far, no arrests in either case. An inmate out of Bowling Green, Kentucky is on the run after escaping custody at SeaTac Airport. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
It was around 11 a.m. Sunday morning at the United Airlines ticket counter at SEA when 28-year-old Cedric Stevenson, who was being transported by contracted agents, was able to escape. Then hopped aboard the light rail heading north and got off at the Cap Hill station, which has many people wondering about their own safety.
It's a little dangerous.
Stevenson was in custody because he had warrants out for him out of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Seattle police have been alerted, and we've put the escapee's photo up at mynorthwest.com. If you see him, call 911. Snohomish County is cracking down on RVs parking on public roads. The Everett Herald was there when the county council voted to limit RV parking to 72 hours on public roads in unincorporated parts of the county. After that, the RVs can be towed, and the county can use its nuisance property abatement fund to cover the cost of that. The Mariners win another series, besting the Texas Rangers.
And again, the 1-2 to Garcia. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball game is over. The Mariners have won 8 consecutive series to tie a Mariner Club record.
The M's lead the AL West. The team now heads to Sacramento to take on the Athletics for 3 games before returning home to face the Blue Jays on Mother's Day weekend. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the upper 60s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, everybody, it is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Good morning, Ursula.
Cinco de Mayo. Time to party.
Yeah, it's May 5th. That's all I know.
For some people, anyway.
Yeah, you're right, for some people. And you know what, though? I was thinking about it this morning, Cinco de Mayo, and I was thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it's May 5th.
Yeah.
For me and you.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do miss the days that I would really get up for this day. Absolutely no production. No production done. And May 6th, no production either. What you got for us, Ursula?
Well, on a beautiful day like today, and I am in such a good mood because it's going to be another picture-perfect day, we have to face an ugly reality. There are just some people who really, really want Seattle to fail. And we're going to talk about that coming up at 9:30. We've had this discussion before, but we got some new details, and we need to share those with you.
Yeah. I have it all the time.
As always, we invite you to join us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. And good morning to all of you on our YouTube page.
Okay, Ursula, go it's Monday. Go a little light. Go ease into the news for us. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
Okay, well, I need to switch it up then. I should be talking about the Mariners.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, no, we're going to actually talk about some serious stuff here because, as you heard in Heather's newscast, the hunt continues for that guy who escaped custody yesterday at SeaTac Airport, jumped onto light rail, and he was still wearing handcuffs at the time. It turns out it was a contracted agent who was transporting Cedric Stevenson, who is wanted out of Kentucky for some unspecified crimes. Around 11 a.m. yesterday, the agent lost track of him while checking in at a ticket counter, and even though the agent gave chase, Stevenson hopped onto a northbound light rail train and apparently got off at the Capitol Hill station. He was wearing white shoes, light gray pants, and a white hooded sweatshirt over a white T-shirt. He's now wanted for escape, along with everything else. And I know this story caught your attention.
It did. This escape, Ursula, will just only add fuel to the discussions around prison transport security. So this will kind of be a positive for that because I'm sure they will be upping their security, and this probably won't happen again. And the next thing is well, wow, this is talk about a story that you've really never talked about. And all I just kept thinking, and I said it to you guys this morning, is this person who has a warrant in Kentucky knew that if I go to Seattle, the best way to get around is Sound Transit. No, excuse me, the light rail.
You think he's going to use? Is he going to use that as or can
light rail
Sound
going to use
Transit?
this?
I was going to say Sound Transit can say we get you everywhere you need to go, even if you're in handcuffs.
I mean, it's faster than the police.
The question is, this is the second time in 3 years that he has fled from authorities while in handcuffs.
They're gonna make a
dude
movie.
knows how to do it.
They're gonna
So
make
you
a
would
movie
think
about
that
him.
maybe knowing that there might have been this contracted agent, that's all they're telling us, who would have done a little more to make sure that he doesn't escape while at SeaTac.
Right.
But in any case...
how do you not catch him? You know where he's going. He's on the train.
Right? Exactly. So it seemed too easy. And I'm curious as to if anyone on light rail noticed, or was it par for the course? Dude in handcuffs. Who cares?
Yeah. So wait, I kind of feel bad. Is this a story that I need to ask you? Should I not be laughing about this?
We're just trying to start light because we're about to get real deep into some stuff.
I don't want to be insensitive.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's not funny because he's a wanted dude and they need to get him, and it was way too easy for him to escape.
Right.
And thankfully, so far, we've not heard of any additional crimes, and hopefully they'll get him into custody very quickly.
Is there anything to be said positive about light rail getting you around fast, though?
I love light rail, actually, and we are going to go do a deep dive in the 10 o'clock hour about light rail. Okay. So we'll talk about that coming up. In case you missed the big news over the weekend, a federal judge has now issued a permanent ruling barring the Trump administration from carrying out an executive order targeting one of Seattle's biggest law firms, Perkins Coie. In a scathing opinion that accompanied her ruling, Judge Beryl Howell said Trump's efforts to crack down on law firms that either represented or employed his political opponents are not only unconstitutional, she says they are an unprecedented attack on the basic foundations of the rule of law. Now, in case you don't know this, Perkins Coie represented Hillary Clinton in 2016, and Trump's executive order wanted to strip all security clearances from the firm's attorneys, restrict their access to federal buildings, which in essence would have stopped all dealings with the federal government. And the president issued similar executive orders targeting other law firms, and some of them caved to the tune of $1 billion, but others, like Seattle's Perkins Coie, did not.
In a shock to the legal community, 9 major firms went to the White House to make a deal. Some say they were pressured not by a written order, but by a message from the White House threatening an order.
It is trying to intimidate them, the way in which a mob boss intimidates people in the neighborhood that he is seeking to either exact protection money from or engage in other nefarious conduct. I mean, the fact is that these law firms are being told, if you don't play ball with us, maybe something really bad will happen to you.
The 9 firms did not admit wrongdoing, but altogether, they agreed to give nearly $1 billion in legal services to causes that the firms and Trump support.
Obviously, that audio from 60 Minutes last night, Scott Pelley interviewing several attorneys, including former Perkins Coie attorney Mark Elias, who represented Hillary Clinton. He says what Trump is doing threatens the rule of law itself.
Are we reaching a point where a person will go to a law firm
with a case that is opposed to the President of the United States, and the law firm will think, do we really want to take this case?
We're already there. They are deciding not to take on certain kinds of clients that might upset the administration, or not taking on certain kinds of causes that might put them in the crosshairs of the administration.
If lawyers give up their independence, what is lost?
The rule of law. And this is why the business community ought to care. Today, it might be that, Donald Trump thinks he can take over the election system through one of his executive orders. Tomorrow, maybe it's the banking system. After that, maybe it's contracts. Maybe he decrees, I'm going to decide which contracts are binding and which contracts aren't binding. So the legal system is fundamental to how our society operates, how capitalism operates, and everyone should have a stake in that.
When is enough going to be enough? I came in this Monday, Ursula, with I know that we're going to be weighing in on these tough topics. But when are people, whether it's these lawsuits against Perkins Coie, whether it's Donald Trump taking pictures of a picture of him, image of him as a pope, this is still continuing chaos. And what the judge had to say, and Chef printed it out for us, this memorandum opinion, one of the two things that stand out to me. One was the importance of independent lawyers to ensuring the American judicial system's fair and impartial administration of justice has been recognized in this country since its founding era. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things they say. And one thing they say at the beginning was, no American president, this is the judge talking, y'all, no American president has ever before issued executive orders like the one at issue in this lawsuit targeting a prominent law firm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is unprecedented, and it happened on Friday. So I just wanted to make sure that people get a chance to hear that this was actually a big victory. Now, the question is, how much will the Trump administration adhere to this? Because we've already heard that he doesn't necessarily believe in following what the courts decide. But there are a couple of things. The Justice Department had defended this order, and again, targeting a bunch of different firms that represented his political opponents. They basically said, this is lawful. The department also says that Perkins Coie's lawsuit could potentially run the risk of muzzling Trump's speech. It's like, I don't think anything has muzzled his speech. But I just want to say not only kudos to this judge, but kudos to 60 Minutes. Because you know what 60 Minutes is facing right now. Massive lawsuit. Mm-hmm. A $20 billion lawsuit. And you heard recently that one of the main producer of 60 Minutes left because he felt like 60 Minutes and Paramount specifically was basically caving into the Trump administration's demands and this lawsuit. And I love the fact that they're still going after it. Yeah. They're not bowing down, and that's what it needs. That's what it takes.
So what is this?
That is what is required.
What is this an example of? This is an example of someone going after lawyers. This is someone that will defy court orders. This is also someone that wants to silence media, that does not maybe ask him questions in the right way. What is this?
Well, it's a dictatorship.
Okay.
Well, and it's also someone who doesn't believe in the rule of law, who doesn't believe in the Constitution. I mean, and you'll hear later on in the show where there were some questions asked to whether he believes in the Constitution. So we'll get into all of that. But right now we need to talk about what's happening in Kennewick because a popular food truck owner has been detained by ICE after showing up for a routine interview about a green card application. Sergio Gomez applied for a green card in 2023, and he got a message from ICE in March that his case would be decided in the next couple of months. He then got a message last week to show up their offices in Yakima, so he and his wife, Gabby, showed up. And when they arrived, he was taken into a separate room. And then Gabby was told that her husband was being detained on a warrant, and now he's at the Tacoma Northwest Detention Center in deportation proceedings. And Gabby tells KIMA News in Yakima that Sergio was simply trying to do the right thing.
If he didn't show up, it would have been a denial. So we showed up, and then here we are. My husband is not a criminal. He's not a felon. You know, he's a family guy, a business owner.
So a little more background on him. He came to the U.S. at the age of 14 with a relative. His wife and his three children, they are between the ages of 5 months and 10 months and 17 years old. They are U.S. citizens, but he's not. And so the question is now what should happen? I mean, he's in a detention center. And these are the types of people we're talking about getting caught up in this.
I don't. Well, before I get into what should happen, let's talk about what has already happened. He is now at the Tacoma Detention Center. He's there right now. And right now, he's not a U.S. citizen. So there are a lot of people that are like, hey, get him now out of here. Deport him. Mm-hmm. But I want to go back because a lot of folks told me and how they got the support. Remember, the Latino vote, the majority of Latinos in this country voted for Donald Trump. So when they talked about mass deportation, they said, hey, we're going after the murderers. We're going after the criminals. We're going after the violent offenders that are here in this country illegally. And now, in this case, which, by the way, I know someone that knows this person out here. Here's someone that has been in this country. He came here illegally. So if you guys want to hear that, like you said.
At the age of 14. Yes.
At the age of 14. And he's now in his early 40s. No crimes. Started to say, hey, you know what? I need to start to do things the right way in this country. Started the applications in 2022. The process got going in 2023, showing up for their appointments, doing everything they're supposed to do. And like his wife said, if he does not show up for an appointment, that's an automatic done deal. You're out of here. Shows up for his appointment, and bam, he gets deported.
Well, he's not deported yet, but yeah, he's in holding.
Right. Is this what you guys want? Is that what y'all want? Because y'all told me you were going after criminals. This is not a criminal. But now it feels like it's now turning into a little bit more. It's like the old saying, you give someone an inch to take a mile. Mm-hmm. But these are things when people would say, gee, you're fear-mongering. Gee, he's not going to do that. Gee, this is what's going to happen. When's enough? I think, Ursula, actually, the way I look on social media, people now are saying,
this is what we wanted.
This is what we wanted, and it's a crime. You're a criminal if you're here illegally, they tell me.
Well, I'd love to hear from you listening right now. Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Squeeze one more story in. 2 veterans of the Lakewood Police Department have been suspended now after investigations found that they made inappropriate comments about colleagues' sexual identity and race last year. The News Tribune reports an investigator determined that Sergeant Jason Catlett and Detective Noah Dyer had open conversations about other officers' sexual preferences with the goal of finding out whether they were gay so they could be harassed with inappropriate jokes. Important to note, Catlett was the president of the Lakewood Police Union. He was also a supervisor as a sergeant. And in his case, the investigator says he gave a temporary password to someone that he supervised that insinuated that he was gay and called him gay slurs in front of others. The investigations into Detective Dyer found that he allegedly used gay slurs in front of others and made racially charged jokes related to the N-word, including while he was at a professional conference. He also allegedly claimed that his brother couldn't get a job at the Tacoma Police Department because he's white, and said the department is being ruined by DEI initiatives. So the two of them were initially demoted in July. There's a new police chief. They were initially demoted in July for violating the city's anti-harassment policies, but after arbitration with the union, Catlett only got a 10-day suspension and Dyer got 5 days.
Yeah. First, let me just say this. I want to start off with just kudos in itself. That because there used to be a point in time where we didn't hear any of this about law enforcement, right? All we would hear is, oh, you guys hate law enforcement, and oh, you're trying to play the race card, and oh, blue lives matter. We hear all those things. I want to tip my hat off to a lot of law enforcement agencies that are showing and coming out and holding people accountable. It's not about whether or not I should be upset with them not actually losing their jobs. I don't want to go in on that. But I just wanted, something stood out to me that you said something. I want to make sure I got this right. So one of these guys that have been alleged to have said some racist comments. Did you say one of them, what was their job as? What was
sergeant?
And what was the other one?
And also the sergeant was the president of the Lakewood Police Guild.
Oh, I don't know what it is about presidents of police guilds. That's all. I was like, wow.
Now I will say, for the sergeant, he did eventually he apologized.
Apologize?
He was the one who apologized and expressed remorse. The other one, not so much.
How does that apology, Ursula, you teach me all the time. How does an apology sound like when you have said the F word and you said some racial slurs? Are you like, oh, you know what? I'm just going through a hard time. Life's rough for me. I didn't mean to say that.
Well, that actually is one of the arguments that the union made.
Oh, what'd they say?
Basically saying that you don't realize the difficult job that police officers have dealing with terrible things that people do to each other, which is true. And they say it's a profession unlike any others in terms of the pressures and the human tragedies. But do you have to always release your pressure by saying things in front of people you supervise?
I mean, they, you know what they should do? They should make that excuse when law enforcement are part of domestic violence. Say, well, they're part of a rough job. Everything that they see out here, right? Domestic violence, same thing. Sounds bad, huh?
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Same thing with racial slurs. Your job being tough should not get you to say racial slurs.
Exactly.
We got a tough job,
Homophobic slurs. Yes.
All right, so what are we going to do next?
Oh, we're going to talk about why so many. Okay, this is a beautiful day. And on days like today, I'm just reminded, my gosh, we are so lucky to live in this region where we do.
Okay.
But there's some people who seemingly just don't want us to win. They don't want things to be better, even though their own statistics say, hey, things might be getting better. So we're going to get into that coming up next.
Gee Ursula?
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Nobody should drink and drive. It's absolutely dangerous. DUI Heroes cares for their clients as people, individuals who have made that mistake. DUI Heroes will not treat you like a criminal. Their clients will be heard and understood. They will be valued and they will be seen. DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole, because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big number with a two-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck, when he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball, Tridents up.
Don't miss the Mariners Mother's Day Weekend Series starting this Friday, including a clear purse giveaway on Mother's Day for the first 10,000 moms, thanks to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Then the action continues with a showdown against the Yankees Monday, May 12th through Wednesday, May 14th. Get tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Wednesday is the deadline to get your real ID, the enhanced driver's license you'll need to board airplanes. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
It is a busy time for many Department of Licensing buildings in Western Washington.
Just trying to get my enhanced driver's license.
But if you think you can get an appointment before May 7th...
And it just kept saying no availability, so...
Thomas Charlson with the Department of Licensing says...
Most of them are being booked out pretty quickly. So we're looking at June if you want to try to get an appointment.
So that you don't have to carry a passport or any other form of ID to fly.
You can try your luck without an appointment, but walk-ups are waiting for hours in line. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is at SeaTac Airport. He says if you're flying today, double-check that flight Problems at Newark Liberty Airport in New Jersey are throwing a monkey wrench throughout the system nationwide.
Nearly half of all the flights heading for Newark yesterday, including those from here in Seattle, were delayed. What's going on? It's a staffing shortage in a key air traffic control center that has forced the FAA to essentially slow down the nation's 12th busiest airport. The Transportation Secretary says cracks are starting to show in the nation's air traffic control system.
More than 320 flights have been canceled since Friday. The Department of Homeland Security says it is offering to pay migrants who are in the U.S. illegally $1,000 to leave on their own. They'd get the money after customs officials confirm they've gone back to their home countries. President Trump is directing the government to reopen Alcatraz to, quote, house America's most ruthless and violent offenders.
Alcatraz, notorious and closed since 1963 because of high operating costs. A report said Alcatraz was over 3 times more expensive to run than the average American prison. It was open for 3 decades. Capacity 336. Al Capone served time there. It was said to be escape-proof. Alcatraz is on an island just over a mile off the San Francisco coast. It's now a tourist attraction run by the National Park Service, drawing 1.5 million visitors a year. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Heads up if you still owe on student loans. Starting today, the Department of Education says borrowers who do not pay on time could damage their credit scores and even have their wages garnished. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 90 points, NASDAQ down 74. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, a rough time in South Seattle. A crash is blocking all southbound lanes on Airport Way South at South Hardy Street. And there's a fatal crash investigation underway at 4th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. Your travel times overall are starting to improve. Everett to Seattle, 41 minutes. That's 10 longer than usual. Federal Way to Seattle, 48, 15 longer than typical. And Renton to Bellevue, 42, 10 longer. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue, ProSculpt.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the upper 60s. It's 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us. Hey, coming up in about 15 minutes, we got some advice because if you have student loan debt and it's outstanding, and we've got some advice for you because you are now expected to pay it back. So that is a conversation we'll have in about 15 minutes. But right now, the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild is fuming that someone dared to point out that crime in the city is going down.
Hey, so what is this latest Seattle Times hit job against the good men and women of the Seattle Police Officers Guild? Well, in the latest column from yesterday, authored by, I think, a pretty staunch cop hater, Danny Westnut, goes after Spog with the title in his piece, Cops' snarky, quote, "This is Seattle," unquote, slogan misses their own big news.
That is SPOG President Mike Solon on his podcast talking about Danny Westneat's recent column that pointed out that while crime is down in Seattle, the union's social media posts would only highlight the worst images of the city with the tag, "This is Seattle." Even though I want to point out that the Seattle Police Department's own statistics said that violent crime is down in the city. So he says that Solon says that SPOG uses social media to point out the positive things happening in the city.
Hey, even with the meager amount of staffing numbers we have as police officers in the city, we're still getting a quality job done. Given all the activism, all the staffing problems we have, all the political hand-wringing that makes our job very difficult to do, we still do an outstanding job.
But he also says that they point out the negative.
The negative pieces are basically giving you the truth, talking about the crime that's impacting this entire city, the public safety crisis that Seattle finds itself in. And we comment on it. We basically have a post from somebody that's remarking on some type of lawlessness in a certain part of the city, and we repost it saying, "This is Seattle."
And flat out, Mike Solon says the SPD, again, the police department's own crime data is wrong.
Well, I can tell you there's a reason why that the crime stats put up by the department are not as accurate as what we put out there in terms of this is Seattle narrative. It's because if you look at overall, 911 calls from the community for public safety services are dropping. And so the conclusion is that, hey, crime must be dropping. Well, that's completely opposite to what the reality is.
So I need to point out, though, Gee, that the statistics that were used were not just 911 calls. And the idea that 911 calls, people aren't calling 911 when a violent crime has been committed. So are you trying to say that homicides are up? I mean, the statistics show that homicides are down, assaults are down, robberies are down, and that's a good thing. And why wouldn't the Seattle Police Department want to celebrate that? I don't understand why does the union want to denigrate new police officers saying, "Oh, we've got these new recruits," but it's because they've lowered the standards, that more people are able to join the police department. Aren't we supposed to be on the same team, like wanting better for the city and celebrating when things that are positive are there, to be celebrated? I mean, and again, the crime is still too much. Any crime is still too much. But these are statistics from the police department.
Yeah. There's a lot to say here. First thing I want to say, I was thinking about this, listening to Mike Solon talk and listening to him call Danny Westneat out of his name by calling him Danny Westnut. You see, people like Mike Solon are what is happening and what we are seeing examples of with the United States president. There's a connection. The way to be awful in that way, calling people out of their names, that's some old high school, junior high stuff. But this is also the same Mike Solon that had someone laughing about someone's life to him on the phone. So that also stands out. As for what you're talking about, should this be good news? For some, this is what they do. This is the narrative that they talk about. I say to you all the time, there are people that use their platform to tell you how dangerous and how awful Seattle is. I've been working with you for 5.5 years, Ursula. You want to know what I noticed? You work in downtown. You live in downtown. You do everything downtown. And you know what? You've come to work safely every single day. That's one. Two, there's a lot of people that take the bus, live down here, take the bus. And some folks still have the audacity to tell you every day how dangerous Seattle is. It's a stick. It's a grift. That's what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's a dang on grift.
The thing that's just sad, I mean, and it is, and it's a way to get people riled up and say, hey, if we didn't have the political, let's just call it what it is. If we didn't have the screaming liberals in the offices that they are in right now, if we didn't have these wacky liberal policies, this wouldn't be happening. I was just reminded yesterday, one of my closest girlfriends, someone I grew up with in Oregon, she came and visited. She said, the city has improved so much. And she's been visiting every year now for 20 years. And she says, it looks so beautiful. We walked all over downtown in Soto, et cetera. Now, I mean, there were just 2 stabbings in Pioneer Square and then in the International District. Do we have crime? Yes, we do. This is a larger city, but we should be celebrating when we have these. Kudos to the Seattle Police Department. They're able to fight crime, and we have a long way to go. But again, it's like, why do you want the city to fail?
Because there's a grift, and there are people that really want to hear that every single day. It falls along with their narrative. It's unfortunate, but here's we are. And you know what? There's people that have really made careers out of these narratives being put out there. Coming up next, listen, we've talked a lot about student loan, back and forth, whether you should pay, whether you should not. Well, guess what? Starting today, there are going to be garnishments that's going to be happening across the country. So what we're going to talk about next are things that you should and or should not do. We do that next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
When we reach our golden years, it's natural to want to stay in our homes. We've worked hard for them, but as our minds and bodies age, the home can become an unsafe place where loneliness thrives. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces and managed common areas with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, allowing you to socialize or participate in activities whenever you like. Care Partners Senior Living provides both privacy and socialization at your desired pace. You aren't living alone in our communities because help is always nearby. And believe it or not, community living can be more cost-effective than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
With 30 communities, including Covington, Bremerton, Snohomish, and the grand opening of North Creek Bothell, there's quality senior care at an affordable price near you. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it.
The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
It's time to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you, and leave a mess behind. Ready to settle down? Swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication, maintains meticulous job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to Valentine Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
Ivers has opened its new Clam Digger Cafe on Pier 54 in the new Seattle Waterfront Park. Order off the menu, featuring new shareables like pretzel and beer cheese bites, crab and shrimp empanadas, a fried clam po' boy, or Ivers margarita prawns. You can still get Ivers favorites, including fish and chips, calamari, Seattle's favorite clam chowder, grilled salmon, or halibut. Try Ivers' new Clam Digger Cafe on Pier 54. Details at ivers.com.
The GOP votes to allow ICE to deport U.S. citizens. We'll be talking about that in the 10 o'clock hour. But right now, we do need to talk about student loan payments are restarting today. So after 5 years of forbearance, and by the way, something that Trump paused in the first place back in March of 2020. After 5 years of forbearance and a heck of a lot of promises from Joe Biden about loans being canceled, well, you better start paying up. If you don't, your wages could get garnished, your tax return could get hit, so meaning taken away, and check this out, even your Social Security benefits could get pinched. Senior Education Department officials said that borrowers will be given a 30-day notice before wages are garnished. The federal government can garnish up to 15% of a person's paycheck. Ursula, as someone who knows what it's like for them bill collectors to call, I almost have a PhD in what to do and how to do when you owe a debt. Let me take it from me. The last thing that you want to do, we aren't arguing about whether or not you should pay or not. That's over with.
You and I already had that big debate.
That's over. We're here now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do some of the things that I've done in the past. The worst thing that you can do if you owe a student loan debt is to ignore it and not communicate.
True.
Please don't do that. Because if you do that, once it starts. Now, you now are hearing this today. So if you're like, okay, well, what should I do? Man, just make that phone call. Make that phone call, talk to them. And some people know this saying, by the way, Ursula, this is my favorite. Can I get on a payment plan? You get on if it's $10 a week or $10 a month, something.
Yes. They appreciate something. You might be shocked at what you will find out.
Yes.
I mean, that goes for credit card companies as well, because there was a time when, I had a harder time paying off the minimum amount. And so a lot of times you can work something out where they would just rather know that you are doing something to take care of that debt.
Yeah. Can I put something
just ignoring?
Can I put something on it? That's what we used to say. Can I put something on it?
Yes.
That's
kind
it.
of a layaway plan.
Put something on it. So really.
This is really going to affect more than 42 million people who hold federal student loans. There's more than $5 million currently in default and $4 million in late stage delinquency. This is what they're saying, or in immediate danger of defaulting. And so one of the things that you can do is look at you can check your status of your loan at studentaid.gov. And you're going to be receiving an email within the next couple of weeks, if you haven't already, informing you of your status and your potential next steps.
I know one thing, going forward, and speaking of rules, and I hope one day, whether it's, in the future, I'm sure it's not going to happen now, but I really hope one day that the same way that you cannot get rid of student loan debt, I don't want you to be able to get rid of business debt. I want you to be able to hold on to that business debt. So if you're someone that has filed bankrupt 6 times, if you've done that 6 times, you should have to owe every bit of that money back. Because for the businesses and for those that drop their LLC, for those that go bankrupt and be like, oh, I'll just start up another LLC, I want to ask, who has to pay for some of these things? In Atlantic City, when you had a lot of people that built some of those structures and some of those folks not get paid, who has to pay for these things?
Well, here's another question for you, and it's something that I haven't brought up on the show, but it made me think about it this morning as we were hearing the headlines about, your student loans needing to be repaid now. And as you and I have debated already, I don't have an issue with that, although I hope that people can be put on payment plans, et cetera. But remember when a lot of people got PPP loans during the pandemic? And there are people, I got to say, that either I heard of or I know that somehow fared so much better after all of that happened and ended up with things like water toys and boats and that kind of thing, even after they struggled so much during the pandemic and had to get those PPP loans. I say if you got one of those and you are doing well now, you should pay that back.
Ursula, 2 weeks ago, somebody that I've known for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, man, I'm glad that money came through for me. I said, oh, man, how much you get? He got $225,000.
Mm-hmm.
$220.
Is he paying it back?
He ain't got to. He good. He's good.
Did he truly struggle during the pandemic?
I mean, he had a business. He had a business. Did he struggle? I don't know. But, man, I tell you what, you know what I feel like a lot of times, Ursula, and I think people listening can relate to this. It feels like in this country, when you do things the right way, you get punished.
It's almost like you get punished.
But if you try to cheat the system, I don't know. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, the GOP votes to allow ICE to deport U.S. citizens. We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7.
It's an exciting night at my house last night. Nick came home. She's all excited. This shirt she found was $80. So she's sitting there talking to me, and all of a sudden she goes, I can't breathe. Cut me out of it. I was like, cut you out of it? It was $80. She goes, I got it for $11. Why'd you even buy it? Because it was $80. I got it for $11. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it was so cheap.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Don't wait. Prepare today so we can fly together.
It's your final boarding call for Real ID.
Visit realidwa.com.
Head to Nisqually Red Wind Casino in May during the Lucky Run giveaway. You could win big with a dealership credit and more. Free entries every Friday and Saturday. Bonus entries for military VIPs and those 50 plus. Nisqually Red Wind Casino is the South Sound's premier destination. Voted best casino, best host, best promotions, and best for fun. Players can always get in on the action with specials and dining discounts at their casual or fine dining restaurants. More details at redwindcasino.com. Only at Nisqually Red Wind Casino, your VIP here.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Lowe's helps refresh your garden in time for Mother's Day. Right now, get 5 bags of 1.5 cubic foot Scott's Naturescapes mulch for just $10. Plus, select 1.5 gallon annuals hanging baskets make the perfect gift. Now 2 for only $15. The best garden starts with great deals. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/7. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Cancellations and delays persist at one of the nation's busiest airports, Newark Liberty Airport, hit with several days of problems because of staffing issues. CBS's Meg Oliver.
Right now, we are at 198 delays, 134 cancellations, but probably as I'm saying that, the numbers have increased. It just continues to rise throughout the day.
The Senate's top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, from neighboring New York, is calling for an investigation.
I have asked the Office of Inspector General to thoroughly investigate what's going on at Newark and in the East Coast so these problems don't get worse and spread all across the nation.
A U.S. official tells CBS News helicopter training missions near the Pentagon are being paused. 2 commercial jets aborted landings at Reagan National Airport last Thursday because of helicopter activity. Homeland Security says it's begun offering travel assistance and $1,000 stipends for people in this country illegally who self-deport. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
It is the latest in a string of either sticks or carrots that are being developed by this administration in order to incentivize people who came to this country illegally to make a quick retreat on their own.
Deadly results after a small boat overturned off the coast of San Diego. KFMB TV reporter Regina Ureta.
18 people, including 2 children, were on that boat. 3 people have been confirmed dead, and 4 others are currently in the hospital.
Overseas, Israel's security cabinet has approved a plan to capture all of Gaza and remain there for an unspecified length of time. CBS's Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
Now the plan is to seize more territory, virtually the entire Gaza Strip. That means also pushing out the civilian population, which has already been displaced. many times to so-called safe zones.
President Trump moving to impose a 100% tariff on films made in other countries.
Former LA film executive Tim Richards runs one of Britain's biggest cinema chains. He doesn't see why Trump finds any tariffs on film production necessary.
The U.S. right now, they export 3 times as much as they import in terms of filmed entertainment.
Britain's $2 billion film industry supports 195,000 jobs here, but it uses tax incentives to lure producers, which could be what Trump is objecting to. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Months after they were destroyed by the LA fires, swimming great Gary Hall Jr.'s 10 Olympic medals were replaced today at IOC headquarters. The Dow is up 76. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Deadly shootings in Federal Way. The story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 at Northeast 30th Street. Your Renton to Bellevue Drive is about 20 minutes longer than usual. In Seattle, road work is cleared from southbound I-5 near Ravenna. But in the city of Seattle, all lanes have reopened at Airport Way South at South Hardy. You still have a fatal crash investigation that has a lane blocked on 4th Avenue South and all lanes of eastbound South Spokane Street blocked. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop, freaking call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Federal Way police are investigating 2 deadly shootings that happened just hours apart on Saturday. More from KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn.
A pall hangs over the Uptown Square apartments. A man in his 20s lay dead here.
First, I heard one shot, followed by a bunch of screaming, just terror.
The alleged shooter ran away. Nearly 7 hours later, Federal Way police were called to the Cove apartment homes for a second shooting. That victim, a 34-year-old man, died at the scene, too. That shooting was not related to the deadly one at Uptown Square.
Seattle police are investigating a couple of weekend stabbings. Witnesses tell officers 2 men were attacked during a private event at a Pioneer Square nightclub last night. They drove themselves to Harborview and are in stable condition. In the Chinatown International District, police say 2 men were stabbed, one of them critically wounded after a fight Saturday night. So far, no arrests. An inmate out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, is on the run after escaping custody at SeaTac Airport yesterday, where travelers tell KIRO 7 TV.
It's a little dangerous.
I mean, that's kind of crazy that, they got away.
28-year-old Cedric Stevenson hopped onto light rail at the airport and got off at the Capitol Hill station. He has a criminal history that includes armed robbery. We have put his photo up at mynorthwest.com. Call 911 if you've seen him. The University of Washington loses a 3-year-long legal battle to keep the names of its Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee anonymous. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals will now be able to view the names of those affiliated with the group, according to a report on science.org. The university is worried that revealing the names will stifle animal research and could affect recruitment. But PETA argues the committee should have nothing to hide. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Another series win over the weekend for the Seattle Mariners. M's reliever Matt Brash returned to the mound after Tommy John surgery, and he quickly went to work.
The 3-2. Swung on and missed. He blew it by him. A heater right on the corner. Welcome back, Matt Brash. He gets the punch out. Down goes Garcia.
The team takes on the Athletics this week in Sacramento before heading home to face off against the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the upper 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Cinco de Mayo. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. You sound very professional and just right to the point. What's up? It's Monday. It's Monday. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it through.
Oh.
I'm just trying to. Your boy just trying. I'm just trying to make it through. You just trying to. You know.
Definitely a different feeling from Fresh Friday.
Oh man, yes.
I know. Coming up at 10:30, we're going to do anything fun? Hey, we're going to talk about some of the positives of light rail and what's going on over in one East Side city, and whether you think this is a good thing or not so good thing.
Can light rail be so popular today?
Yeah.
Light rail getting the job done.
Yeah, we'll see. Like a lot of big changes over there in Redmond.
They come fast.
Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
Okay, buckle up, because on Friday, on our Fresh Friday, we said it was going to be a Trump-free Friday, and today it might be Manic Monday, because we do need to. There was a lot of stuff that went on over the weekend that I think is important for you to know, and I want you all to weigh in. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO, because we are going to be talking about President Trump, and specifically, let's start off with how much the president actually knows about the Constitution, and is he willing to defend it? The reason why we're asking this is because President Trump gave NBC's Kristen Welker an extremely troublesome answer.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. Some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Okay, so let's just start there. Does it worry you that the president cannot easily answer, does everyone deserve due process?
No, it doesn't worry me. And the reason why it doesn't worry me is because at this point in time, I'm tired. And what I mean by I'm tired is I'm tired of telling and saying the same things. We are saying the same things over and over and over and over again. We have an incompetent president. We have an incompetent president that is destroying our country. We have an incompetent president that is not pro-Constitution. The thing is about this incompetent president is he doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of this, the executive orders and all of it. He doesn't care about mass deportation. He doesn't. You know why? He doesn't. All he cares about is this. Doing this will keep me out of prison, which people forget. He was close to going to prison. So if I do this, I just have people around me, Project 2025, I have people around me to just keep giving people red meat. You take this red meat while me and my friends get ready to pass this $4.5 trillion tax cut, and we just take money. It's literally 3-card Monty happening consistently every day. So,
hey, you know what? You know what we can feel good about, though? There are members of Congress right now within the GOP who are willing to put up a fight, right? Actually, wrong. Because House Republicans voted down an effort to block immigration enforcers from using the federal government to detain or deport U.S. citizens. So, I mean, just hear that. That should strike fear to deport U.S. citizens. And Representative Jasmine Crockett says last week the House Judiciary Committee, again, led by the GOP, essentially voted to allow the president and ICE to go after you.
But literally, they just voted. They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for.
Okay, I need to go ahead.
The update on that is that Pramila Jayapal, our representative here, she put an amendment into a House budget bill that would have blocked any funding for ICE to deport or detain U.S. citizens. The GOP then voted against that. So that's moving forward entirely.
Yeah, so even with efforts in Congress to try to stop it, it's just like it's steamrolling. And then there was a question about sanctuary cities, too. And, Chef, I didn't get a chance to listen to this. Is this what Border Security Czar Tom Holman is talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
To a Gateway pundit reporter.
Okay, so he says public officials can expect to be arrested if they don't toe the line on immigration.
Jordan Conrad's from Gateway Pundit. So the president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for their policies. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
And, well, real quick, your comments on the Wisconsin governor sending directives to state agencies to not comply with ICE and actually stop your deportation efforts.
Wait to see what's coming.
Any updates on the
I meant what I said.
I mean, as you know, Seattle is a sanctuary city. Washington is a sanctuary state. Mm-hmm. I mean, the state attorney general's office and the Seattle city attorney have already said they are, ready for a fight. They're getting ready. But, I mean, this is just lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit.
Ursula, you know what really stands out to me about this is most of us have been to school, and we remember watching documentaries centered around World War II. We remember being talks about concentration camps. We remember all those things. And Ursula, what really stands out to me is today we have so much access to technology, social media, video, everything that happens with whether it's a judge in Wisconsin being arrested, we'll have photos of that. We will see everything. My point, could you imagine right now if today we had the technology of what they had back in the 30s? Do you all know what would be happening here in the United States if we did not have the technology? Back in the 30s, they didn't have the technology back then, and we see what that led to. Do you know what would be happening here? So I'm standing here today, even though I'm frustrated, I'm actually thankful that we have technology, we have social media, to at least we're talking about this stuff. I can only imagine how many people would be thrown in vans, how many people would be snatched and kidnapped. I mean, it's happening right now in broad daylight, and we know about it, but imagine if we did not have the technology. And so we would watch TV when we were younger, and we would say things like, I can't believe that happened. Wow, that would never happen in the United States. And here we are. Here we are. The propaganda, all that is happening right here.
So my mind's always looking at, okay, what positives can we talk about? What is happening? When you go to the grocery store, are you seeing prices go down? Because I do recall that President Trump said on day one, we are going to see prices go down. Cost of eggs, cost of butter, so we are going to be seeing prices go down dramatically. And have you noticed that at the grocery store?
No, have not.
Or the stock market. We're just gonna be just reaping all sorts of benefits too, right?
Right. And Ursula, very good point that you bring it up. Of all the things that's happening, I want to be very transparent. I don't care about gas. I don't care about groceries. This is me. No, I'm talking. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I don't care about gas. I don't care about groceries. I don't care about things getting expensive. I don't care about none of that. The one thing that I hardly sleep at night, the one thing that just really gets me going is we have people in this country, we have kids that don't know if mom or dad is going to come home. We have kids, and they're not criminals. We have kids who will have their parents snatched away from them, gone. We have people that are not going to go to work. We have people that won't call for emergency services. The fact that we have a percentage of this country that smile at this and laugh at this and say things like, well, it's a crime to be here illegally. I tell you what, any food that you've been eating, when you get ready to go eat food today, when you get ready, whatever time, dinner or lunch, I want you to remember something. There is a good chance that food that you're about to eat is because of somebody undocumented in this country. So keep that same damn energy when you go eat today.
That's a good point. No, that is a really good point. Well, I'll just tell you right now, though, a lot of people, especially those that was the number one thing, including immigration. The other thing was basically the economy. And so I guess the question is, how are you doing?
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now. And I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
Well, that makes sense.
Sure.
You gotta laugh about that. Come on.
I did.
I think he even said in the next quarter, anything bad that happens with the economy, that's still Biden. But if there's something good, it's because of Trump. I mean,
could you imagine if Obama talked like this? I'm sorry, Ursula.
No, any of it.
Could you imagine?
No. But or if someone in Obama's administration talked like this, Stephen Miller is one of Trump's right-hand men.
Yes.
And I saw this thing that he did. Was it on Friday, Chef?
I think so.
Where he talked about eliminating the Department of Education and how that is going to allow the federal government to enforce educational doctrine. This is what he said.
Children will be taught to love America. Children will be taught to be patriots. Children will be taught civic values for schools that want federal taxpayer funding. So as we close the Department of Education and we provide funding to states, we are going to make sure that these funds are not being used to promote communist ideology. For any nation to be successful, it cannot teach its children to hate themselves and to hate their country. So these are a few of the areas in which President Trump has fought the cancerous communist woke culture.
When you watch that man speak, he is the one that gives me the most chills, I guess, in the administration.
When I watch every time, he doesn't even have to speak. When I see his face, it feels like I am watching a World War II documentary.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get into which side I think he's on. I don't want to do that because I might lose my job. But I can assure you, it's not a good feeling when I see Stephen Miller.
Now, what is the thinking that people are being taught to hate America today? Do you equate telling kids the truth about our history, meaning that we're teaching them to hate America?
No, I don't look at it that way. But that's just what it works. Hey, Ursula, can I ask you this? Why do you think that this talk like this works? In fairness to Donald Trump, in fairness to him, at least that man, Donald Trump, I'm giving him credit right here. So for everybody that says I don't ever give him credit, he ran on 100% of what he's doing right now. Not even Bob Ferguson here in the governor. At least Bob Ferguson has kind of switched a little bit on how he ran. Donald Trump ran on all of this.
I think there were a lot of people, though, who thought, oh, that's just him talking. He's not going to actually do it.
FAFO?
Well, do you guys see Stephen Miller's latest move, too? Last week, his America First Legal Foundation has filed a lawsuit against John Roberts, arguing that the Judicial Conference of the U.S. and Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts, those are the two bodies that frame court policy. They should be under the executive branch of the government.
Oh.
I don't think he ran on that. Like, I remember people saying, we want Trump for the judges, but not we want Trump to control the judges.
Yeah, I don't remember that. How about during Trump's campaign? Do you remember him ever talking about making Canada the 51st state? I don't remember talking about that.
I don't remember him talking about that.
Because, in this interview that he did with the woman from NBC, the journalist from NBC, he said he does not think military force is going to be needed to make Canada the 51st state. I guess if there's another positive to look at, I think he was playing down this idea of running for a third term. He says a lot of people want him to run for a third term in the White House, but he doesn't believe it would be allowed. Yeah. He's right on that one.
Hey, Ursula, we got a few minutes left. I always like to
end on a positive.
Yeah, but I like to slow you down a little bit and ask you a couple questions because a lot of times you're like my sounding board. You know what I mean? We're 6 or 7 days into this. What's the plan, Ursula? What we going to
We're dealing with on a daily basis. It was so refreshing on Friday to intentionally ignore everything that was going on, hoping that something so big didn't happen. Uh-huh. I don't think that's the answer. I also think that the Democrats right now need to have a much better plan. Fighting Donald Trump and reacting to Donald Trump is not a good plan of action.
Okay. I agree with you, your comment about the Democrats. But I will say this, Ursula, it is really hard to argue the truth. So for example, when you hear Donald Trump say, when he asked him about due process, and if people getting due process, and you hear him say, I don't know, how can you argue that? You heard that, like when people get upset.
The Constitution, but
they don't care.
The problem with this time around is he doesn't have the kind of guardrails he had the first time around, and that's why it feels so different.
Yeah,
he has put everyone in place who was going to be walk out. Do you hear his cabinet meetings and how they do just all the?
It feels like I'm watching a North Korea cabinet meeting. The praises, all that.
They're like bowing down to him and just singing his praises. Before I've never been to a board meeting. I've never been when I was in management here where anything was ever executed in that way, where you have to sing the praises of the leader.
One last thing that really stands out to me, Ursula. I hope this isn't too personal. You're Catholic, right?
Yes.
You know what I did not see on my social media since the White House posted a picture of Donald Trump as if he was a pope?
Well, by the way, everyone is still in mourning.
Yeah. It's interesting that I have not seen anybody on my social media come out. Actually, I saw Heather Bosch do it. I haven't saw anybody come out and talk about how awful that is. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because of this. Imagine, Ursula, if Barack Obama and the White House put a picture of him days after the Pope passes away. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we can't argue this stuff.
No.
Because they don't care.
The bar's been lowered.
That bar low. Low. All right, Ursula. Good news.
We're going to talk about some good news.
We're going to talk about some good news.
Yes.
We're going to tell you how good the light rail is. Hey, light rail, if I'm y'all, you should just take advantage of this opportunity because here comes some positive news about you. Next, Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English, and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
I love delivery.
How so?
Nearly anything delivered to me. Just a click or call away.
Something same day.
Right.
Everything you want.
Well, not quite everything.
Oh?
If only I could have more hot water delivered.
Running short?
My water heater.
Getting old?
Guess so.
Good news.
What?
We deliver hot water same day.
Wait.
Apollo Plumbing same day water heater replacement.
Right. You're Dan.
You call, we come.
I'm in hot water.
In a good way.
Same day?
We'll pull out the old
and put in the new.
You can even upgrade to a tankless water heater.
So I'm never out of hot water again.
Zip, zam, zoom, just like that.
Only thing?
Yeah?
My budget's a wee snug.
No worries. Apollo offers easy payments.
On water heaters.
With approved credit, sure.
Same day.
A big blue Apollo truck can be on its way.
Easy payments.
So you can replace that old one now.
And you'll haul away the old one?
Of course.
Told you I love home delivery.
Sure.
Gotta love Apollo Plumbing, too.
Just doing our job.
Same day water heater replacement.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. It's been fun meeting people at our recent egg demo events. I'm often asked, what do the hens eat? Well, Wilcox hens eat natural grains, seeds, and grass. They forage for worms and bugs, and their diet is free from pesticides and fertilizers. For fresh local eggs, look for Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Town & Country Markets, or Amazon Fresh. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
We all get a good feeling when we show up for others. That's what Give Big is all about. Give Big is Washington's annual statewide giving campaign, May 6th and 7th. Visit wagives.org to discover and donate to nonprofits making good things happen.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. We are flirting with 80 degrees this week. KIRO News Radio meteorologist Ted Beener says it is forecast to reach 77 degrees tomorrow.
Well, it's springtime, and our days are definitely getting longer. You know, we're going to have our first 8:30 p.m. sundown here later this week on the 7th.
Expect clear skies and warm breezes tomorrow, but don't get too comfortable. The heat won't last. It's expected to cool down to the low to mid-60s on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is the deadline to get your real ID, the enhanced driver's license you'll need to board an airplane. KIRO 7 TV found long lines of people waiting at the Department of Licensing offices.
I would love to not be here for 3 hours.
You can try your luck without an appointment. Walk-ups are waiting for hours at a time. Most appointments at Department of Licensing offices are booked up until June. Starting today, the U.S. Department of Education says if you have a student loan and don't pay on time, it could damage your credit and your wages could be garnished, this borrower says.
We're kind of drowning as it is.
CBS's Lana Zach reports.
Persis Yu is an expert in student loan law. She says steep job cuts at the Education Department and steps to dismantle it have left the loan system in disarray.
Many of the services have hours-long call wait times in order to get just a simple answer about how much do I owe, how do I pay my loan.
For borrowers who have faced financial hardship, it's especially difficult.
There are no exceptions for people in difficult circumstances. The Department of Homeland Security says it's offering to pay migrants who are in the U.S. illegally $1,000 to leave on their own. Migrants would get the money after customs officials confirm they've gone back to their home countries. Overseas, Israel's government is reported to have approved a new plan to seize all the territory in Gaza and then occupy it indefinitely. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb is tracking the story.
If implemented, hundreds of thousands of already displaced Palestinians will be pushed to southern Gaza, only worsening an already dire humanitarian crisis. For 2 months now, Israel has blocked all food, water, and medicine from entering the Palestinian territory, triggering what aid agencies are calling the worst humanitarian crisis there since the violence began nearly 1.5 years ago.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 72 points. NASDAQ is down 43. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Renton, a crash is blocking all lanes on a lane on I-405 northbound at Northeast 30th Street. Your Renton to Bellevue Drive is 30 minutes, just about 10 longer than typical. In Seattle, the fatal crash investigation has wrapped up. All lanes have reopened at 4th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. Construction and an earlier crash has you slow on State Route 18 from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking call Beacon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies today with highs in the upper 60s. It's 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Hood Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and we said we are going to take a very positive look at light rail. It's often maligned. We've talked about budget woes and, some of the issues regarding crime involved in light rail, et cetera, et cetera. But there was a really cool article in the Seattle Times over the weekend about the good things. About the good things that light rail has brought to the city of Redmond, which I guess used to be known as Deadmond. It was kind of a sleepy little town. And now with light rail and a bunch of different things that have happened over recent years, it has become a much more thriving community. And on Saturday, the ribbons are going to be cut for the brand spanking new light rail stations in Redmond. One's going to be added to the downtown core and another stop opening at Merrymore Park, which, by the way, is an incredible park.
It is.
It really is. They basically say light rail is critical for Redmond because companies like Microsoft have so many employees. I didn't know this, but on a typical weekday, it makes sense. The city's population will go from 80,000 to nearly 150,000. The city is estimating it's going to need 25,000 new homes over the next 25 years. So it's just going to be building and building and building.
Yeah.
And so now with these new light rail stations, it's just going to be so much easier for people to get around, and it will, help at least not worsen traffic heading to the east side, back and forth from the east side. But one of the questions we have is, with light rail now going up north, up into Linwood, and eventually extending further north, and of course the folks down south still waiting for their share of light rail. Are we underestimating the positives or the benefits of what light rail is bringing?
Yeah. Yes. and your memory's better than mine. In 5.5 years of doing this show, have we ever led into a segment about, let's talk positive news about light rail?
No.
So, Ursula, why is your energy centered around the opening of what's happening in Redmond, or is it centered around the dude that escapes SeaTac and jumped on light rail?
The dude that escaped SeaTac, that really had nothing to do with light rail. And someone actually correctly pointed out, it's not easy to get onto the light rail station, light rail at SeaTac Airport.
Oh, it's not?
He had Perry Cooper won't appreciate this, the spokesman for SeaTac, but there's a bit of a haul before you
can get to
It's like a quarter mile, right? We asked him about that. He said, the concrete is too heavy if they made it a moving walkway.
But we were joking around, but that story has really nothing to do with light rail, except for that this guy picked that as a way to do it. The reason I'm bringing it up is because every time I drive I-5 from Everett down south, I'm at the point, especially around Linwood, obviously, where the newest transit station opened. I don't even recognize it. It has changed dramatically. But one of the things that I've noticed, and I've said to my husband as we drive by, it's like, that's exactly what should be happening. You should be getting those buildings where presumably, and I think the goal was to make a lot of those new units affordable housing.
Right.
So you should make it so that more people can live along the light rail transit, the line, and so they can get off the freeway and actually just use light rail to get to work or get to, to make it as convenient as possible so that more people are using light rail.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I've never done any public transportation here since I've been here. So I guess my question
have never.
No. So my question would be, for real, would be this, and for all my brothers and sisters down in Pierce County. So I don't know, can I take light rail from down there and get north, or is it just the sounder that I have to take down south?
Yeah, right now the people who've been screwed on light rail are people of Pierce County.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I know. So you have an excuse, even though you really don't have an excuse. Now, I will just say, as someone who's used it to go to SeaTac Airport, whose kids have used it to go to SeaTac Airport.
You loosely go there. You always make it long live Mark come pick you up and drop you off.
Okay, so
he goes through a lot to make sure you get there.
But how about this? Going from my home to downtown Seattle. I mean, it's really easy. And it's actually a fun thing.
Is it?
Yes. But I just look at the people. When you're talking about the thousands of people we're seeing use it to get to Redmond now, I mean, there were a lot of naysayers when it came to light rail. A lot of people still to this day say it's way too expensive for the benefits.
Right.
And while I understand that, I am thankful, ultimately, that they persevered and have continued to grow light rail.
How much?
Because
is it? How much?
Gee, don't ask me.
No,
that.
I'm just saying. Is it
billions and billions of dollars?
Oh, no. No. How much to ride it? How much is it? Like $3, $5, $5?
It's like $4 or something. I'll look it up. But that takes you the whole way down.
Is that one way?
Mark pays.
Yeah, one way.
Okay.
Yep. Doesn't matter where you stop. Same price.
Wait, long live Mark be paying for you, man, Ursula.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly off the top of my head. However, someone said, Robin Puyallup says, Redmond is almost unrecognizable from 20 years ago. Yeah, but kudos to the people who in Redmond embraced the idea when a lot of people were like, no. I think they're reaping the benefits.
$3. $3.
$3. That's almost less than gas. And you know what? Something like that, if you're coming from Redmond and you're going to, and real quick, Chef, just want to make sure it takes you from Redmond to downtown. You can get there?
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay for parking? Hey, shout out to Redmond. That's a win. You don't have to pay for parking when you get downtown?
Yeah,
$3 to get
precisely.
Get back on. Wow.
It is a great thing.
Yeah. They said, Jamestown says the sounder should not be overlooked. It does serve a good purpose. It would be nice if more people were aware of it. I've seen the sounder. So does it get me? Yeah, I don't know.
You can't get to KIRO on the sounder.
Yeah, because I would get off at King Street, and then I'd have to take a bus. Like, I've already looked into that option, and that doesn't sound fun.
I would love though, to hear from more people who are like, yeah, this is why I use light rail.
Right.
We need to get you on the light rail with a camera. Like, G rides the light rail.
You know what? We should do that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. Just go out to Redmond.
Yeah.
And do
You
it.
might get hooked.
Or go hang out with Coop at SeaTac.
All right. Hey, coming up next, we're going to do scenarios. And in this scenario, my mom is cheating. Should I tell my daddy? We'll do that next. Gee and Ursula.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Here's what people are clamoring to buy right now. Poop from the Seattle Zoo. Zoodoo. You can get a zebra, you can get giraffe, a poodoos. You ever heard of that animal in your life?
Never in my life.
Laura, can you look that up?
It looks like a tiny Bambi.
I don't know how much poop you're going to get from that thing.
That's why it's rare and costly, my friend.
Jake and Spike.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Don't wait. Prepare today so we can fly together.
It's your final boarding call for Real ID.
Visit realidwa.com.
Head to Nisqually Redwind Casino in May during the Lucky Run giveaway. You could win big with a dealership credit and more. Free entries every Friday and Saturday. Bonus entries for military VIPs and those 50 plus. Nisqually Redwind Casino is the South Sound's premier destination. Voted best casino, best hosts, best promotions, and best for fun. Players can always get in on the action with specials and dining discounts at their casual or fine dining restaurants. More details at redwindcasino.com. Only at Nisqually Redwind Casino, your VIP here.
Hey there, I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And I often think of my old boss in the Navy, Commander Reed, especially when I'm trying to motivate my kids. Now I know how he must have felt trying to motivate me. This Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. About 2 months ago, I finally given up to the fact that I wasn't as young as I used to be, and my eyeballs were not as young as I used to be. It didn't work as well as to be. I always had perfect vision in my life, but I noticed deterioration. So I went to the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, had a full eye exam. They do amazing work, and it was determined that by their very excellent staff, I had the beginnings of cataract, and I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange, RLE surgery. Now, the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens have done over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. So I was in great hands. My care team from start to finish put me at ease, answered all my questions. The procedure was easy. I was in and out in less than an hour. And within a couple of weeks, my recovery was complete. I've got 20/10 vision. Colors are brighter, more focused. I'll never need readers again, and I will never develop a cataract. They are the future of vision over 45. Give the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call, 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020, or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Hey, it's John Curley for Closets by Design. Our closets were a mess, so I called Closets by Design. They came in and did exceptional work. Now, they're locally owned, and they've been operating for more than 2 decades. I love these guys, a family-run business with national backing, and they source almost all their products right here in Washington. Have Closets by Design come out and customize your closet. Right now, 40% off plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing financing and free installation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN or closetsbydesign.com.
I just learned 10% of our electricity in Washington comes from nuclear energy.
I've heard it's reliable and has a small footprint, but what about the waste?
It's not what you might think. No overflowing dumpsters or leaking barrels. Used fuel is safely stored in solid form after powering homes, schools, and businesses for years. All nuclear power plants in the U.S. store their used fuel responsibly to protect the environment.
Where can I learn more?
You can learn about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Okay, before we get to scenarios, Ursula, can you just go ahead and give the correction? I want to make sure we're on track.
I'm going to actually allow Chef to make the correction because we talked about...
Yes, you'd asked if the light rail goes from Redmond to downtown Seattle, and I said yes. I thought you meant Linwood. That's where I am, but Redmond doesn't go across the lake yet. So just from Redmond to Bellevue.
It's not going to happen until...
Like next year?
Next year.
Did you say you thought I meant Linwood?
You said it doesn't go downtown.
Oh.
Yeah. You were clearly referencing Redmond, though.
Scenarios!
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My parents have been married for 30 years and have always been the picture of a perfect couple. I mean, they're the perfect sitcom type parents. I was away on a business trip recently and asked my mom to stay at my place and take care of my dog and cat, but didn't tell her about the security cameras that I have in my house, which I didn't feel I needed to tell her. But when I was checking in on the house, because I do like to check in on my animals, some of you like to do that with your cameras as well.
Justifying.
I saw a strange car in the driveway. So when I saw the strange car in the driveway, I checked some of the other cameras. And I saw it. My mama had a man in the house. Not just once, but several times that week. I don't have cameras in the guest room, but I'm sure they went in there together. This has rocked my world, and I have no idea what to do. In a way, it's none of my business, and I should stay out of it. On the other hand, don't I owe it to my dad to tell him? But if I do, should I confront my mom first and give her the chance to tell him? If he finds out, it's going to crush him. I want to leave it alone, but I am not sure I can. What should I do? 888-973-5476. Ursula, I'm going first. Mind your business.
I disagree.
Do not tell your daddy. Your mom and dad been married 30 years. What is the, you know what is the good? Super Sam, shout out to Super Sam, because yesterday at Fellowship Breakfast, he kept saying this. That was his whole point. Like, hey, sometimes you got to think, what is the good? What good can come from it? What good can come from this? Just go to your mama and say, hey, mama, I saw you. Don't do that again. Let you and daddy stay married.
Okay, that part I agree with.
That's it.
That part I agree with.
Don't
you
tell
do
dad.
don't go to dad directly before you've had a chance to talk to your mom about it. Now, I thought you were going to say, don't even talk to your mom about it.
No, talk to your mom about it.
Yeah,
like,
you need to talk to your mom.
And then after that,
no, but
don't make her go to your dad.
I would want her to be honest in that. I'm not going to make her. I'm not going to threaten, but I would hope that she would do the right thing and be honest about it. And, again, I don't know that she would have, it's not like the trinkets in the back bedroom where she would have some kind of explanation as to who this person was who was coming to the house. I just said, give her a chance to explain who this person was and why he was coming to the house. Don't automatically go to any conclusions. Yeah. And then once she explains it, just,
you don't even need an explanation. She knows. You know the difference. She got a man that she don't even know. She don't even know this man in her house. Don't need no explanation. She already know what time it is. Wanna.
Maybe your parents have an arrangement. She has no idea about.
Exactly.
You don't know what could be happening. I mean, you're going to have some really interesting conversations with your mom. You probably never anticipated. But what a gut punch. I cannot imagine
Chef, would you
seeing
tell?
that.
Would you tell?
Oh my God.
Would you tell
directly to the dad?
Would you tell?
Nah, I'd talk to the mom.
Oh, yeah.
I would not go to dad first.
And then would you
Depending on what she said, though, I would tell him to get a lawyer.
Bruh.
What?
No, I just don't think most people would. 30 years? Can't let that ride.
See, the thing is, infidelity is bad.
Yes.
But it's exponentially worse, I think, when you're in a relationship of that tenure instead of being young and dumb and perhaps not as 30 years out.
I actually agree with that. But again, give her the opportunity, first of all, to explain, and then secondly, to make it right however the chips may fall. But I wouldn't let that continue.
When you say explain.
Because it's so unfair to the dad, too, and you have loyalty to your father as well.
Ursula, when you say explain, do you mean like you ask them, hey, what was that happening? Like sometimes.
Yeah, just say, I'd be honest and just talk about the security. I love what Robin Puyallup said. Bring up the security aspect. I mean, Mom, I've got security cameras and I saw that someone was entering the house. I don't know who that is. Who is that? And then obviously, however she answers it, you're going to believe her or you're not going to believe her.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I've had to have those difficult kind of conversations with my own parents.
Have you?
As an adult. Yes.
Yeah. You saw some stuff.
I saw and heard and was told about some stuff.
Oof.
Yes. So I've had to confront both parents about it.
Josh in Auburn says, you scared me, G. I thought I was about to have words with you about the scenario until you at least said go talk to the mom. Haha, fully agree. Go get mom to either own up. I wouldn't want Pops to continue wasting his time without at least them talking it out.
Exactly.
Hey,
agree.
Hey, like I said, you don't know about the arrangement. He might have said, hey, you know what? You go out there and find yourself.
You treat mom
Lois.
well in this case.
What do you got there, Nick?
Well, as a kid, you're not supposed to be the messenger for the two of them. It's supposed to be worked out amongst themselves, as they say. But in this special case, there are rare occasions when there's secrets being kept between mom and dad, and maybe you're the only one who can drop the ball to dad that mama might have found another dude that you don't know about.
Papa was a rolling stone.
I could be wrong that it's kept undercover, though, but it doesn't hurt to at least bring it up to the folks. I think the longer you let it go, it's going to get worse.
Gee, has the existence of open relationships just made it so much more possible for people to cheat and get away with it? Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm in an open relationship. So many people on the text line. You don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Something must be going on. Vicky just texts in. Hey, Vicky, this is 2 days in a row that I'm reciting and repeating what you have said. You've actually been killing it these days. Scenarios. Number 1. Tell the mom what she saw on camera. Number 2, let the mom figure out what to do. Number 3, then don't bring it up again. Vicky, that's 2 days in a row.
I will say this, though. Even as an adult, it's shocking and disappointing. And you need to talk it out with someone, too.
Maybe we don't know. Maybe Buddy did what Ursula was telling folks that used to do on this show, telling people to go on strike. Maybe my band been on a strike for about 2-3 years.
I don't remember telling people that's what they should do on an extended basis.
During the pandemic, you was telling people to go on strike. Hey, coming up next, I got a bone to pick with one of the airlines. I don't like what they're doing. I kind of think you're taking advantage. We'll tell you next. Gee Ursula.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of some of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires. Plus, you'll get America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come to work for IRG. With just over 40 locations in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, you have the opportunity to work in the city and place you want with a great team, a great atmosphere, and great mentorship.
Shannon, what type of staff are you looking to hire? Is it just clinical staff right now?
We are looking to hire not only physical therapists, but also occupational therapists, exercise techs, athletic trainers, front office coordinators. We have a whole platform of different services we provide to the community.
Over 40 clinics in the Pacific Northwest. There are openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers and apply today. But Shannon, will they have any fun coming to work at IRG?
Oh my gosh, Brock, that's what it's all about. We want to have fun. We're all about passion. We're all about positivity. We want people to change lives. That's what we're doing here at IRG. We're changing lives, not only of our employees, our patients, and our communities. We want you to be your best self.
So head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers, and apply today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Department of Homeland Security is announcing free airline tickets and a $1,000 stipend to illegal migrants who agree to self-deport to their home countries. CBS's Nancy Cortez at the White House.
The White House is hoping that many of these individuals will just leave on their own and that hopefully some cash in their pockets might be an enticement for them to do that.
Internal government documents obtained by CBS News show the Trump administration has approached far-flung countries to help in its mass deportation effort. That includes countries like Angola, Libya, and Rwanda. Natalie Brand has the latest on President Trump's announcement of 100% tariffs on foreign-made films.
He's directed his Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trade Representative to begin the process of imposing 100% tariffs on any and all movies coming into our country produced on foreign land. And note note that a lot of movies, big and small, have production in both the U.S. and other countries as well.
Flights are delayed again at busy Newark Airport in New Jersey, some by 2 hours. The airport claims weather is a factor, but there's a shortage of air traffic controllers. Senator Chuck Schumer.
Newark Liberty, the airport, will continue to grapple with very significant operational disruptions if the critical shortages of air traffic controllers continues without a solution.
The military is pausing some helicopter training flights around the Pentagon after 2 commercial flights into D.C. National were forced to change their routes last Thursday because of helicopter activity. Jury selections underway in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Legal analyst Ricky Kleeman on the high-profile trial.
The real trick here for both sides is to get those 12 people plus the alternates in the box who claim that they can be fair and impartial.
If convicted, the music mogul could face the rest of his life in prison. Israel's government's reportedly approved a plan to seize all of Gaza and occupy it indefinitely. Israel says the plan would involve moving most of the population. CBS's MTS Tayeb.
If implemented, hundreds of thousands of already displaced Palestinians will be pushed to southern Gaza, only worsening an already dire humanitarian crisis. For 2 months now, Israel has blocked all food, water, and medicine from entering the Palestinian territory, triggering what aid agencies are calling the worst humanitarian crisis there since the violence began nearly 1.5 years ago.
The timing and length of the operation isn't yet clear. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial's up 96 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An inmate escapes custody at SeaTac Airport. That's one of the stories coming up at first. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, in Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 northbound to Northeast 30th Street. Your travel time, Renton to Bellevue, is 24 minutes. That's about 7 longer than usual. In Seattle, a fatal crash investigation is wrapped up. All lanes have reopened at 4th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. More on that in just a moment. Construction and an earlier crash has you slow on State Route 18 from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by FRS Clipper. Save on a Victoria, BC getaway during FRS Clipper's spring sale. Clipper Fast Ferry plus 2 nights hotel up to 20% off at FRSClipper.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle police are searching for the hit-and-run driver who struck and killed an 83-year-old woman who was in a crosswalk when she was killed. This happened around 7:45 this morning on 4th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. Contact police if you have information on that. In Federal Way, police are investigating 2 separate shooting deaths that happened just hours apart. One took place at the Uptown Square Apartments Saturday afternoon.
First, I heard one shot, which I thought was a firework, and followed by a bunch of screaming, just terror.
KIRO 70 reports the victim was a man in his 20s. Hours later, police say a 34-year-old man was killed at the Cove apartment homes off 330th Street. Police believe in that case the victim and shooter knew each other. Seattle police are investigating a couple of weekend stabbings. Witnesses tell officers 2 men were attacked during a private event at a Pioneer Square nightclub. They drove themselves to Harborview and are in stable condition. In the Chinatown International District, police say 2 men were stabbed, one of them critically wounded after a fight Saturday night. So far, no arrests. An inmate out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, is on the run after escaping custody at SeaTac Airport. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
It was around 11 a.m. Sunday morning at the United Airlines ticket counter at SEA when 28-year-old Cedric Stevenson, who was being transported by contracted agents, was able to escape. Then hopped aboard the light rail heading north and got off at the Cap Hill station, which has many people wondering about their own safety.
It's a little dangerous.
Stevenson was in custody because he had warrants out for him out of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
The escapee has a long criminal history, including armed robbery. We've put the escapee's photo up at mynorthwest.com. The Mariners win another series, besting the Texas Rangers.
And again, the 1-2 to Garcia. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball game is over. The Mariners have won 8 consecutive series to tie a Mariner Club record.
The M's lead the AL West. The team now heads to Sacramento to take on the Athletics for 3 games before returning home to face the Blue Jays on Mother's Day weekend. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the upper 60s. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Cinco de Mayo is today. Ursula, are you doing anything special today?
Other than talking about it here on the show? No.
Okay.
And I'm going to bet, I'm willing to bet that most people don't even know what Cinco de Mayo celebrates. Other than you get great deals on nachos and chips and salsa and drinks. I'm going to bet on that, but I think we're going to have it on Agree to Disagree coming up.
Nick, are you doing anything special today?
Just relaxing today. No, not really. I never really have celebrated Cinco de Mayo in the past. Just maybe some Mexican food, you know.
All right, Ursula.
Well, I guess the question would be, suddenly there was all awkward. Why?
Oh, no. Agree to Disagree. Brought to you by Gardner Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go.
Quick, get me out of here.
Because he's going to ask about Cinco de Mayo right now.
I'm going to save it, actually, for a little bit later, because, you teased the airline problem. And the question is whether you should pay for your assigned seat on an airline. There's a lot of people that are refusing to do so now that every airline, including Southwest soon, is going to be doing this. In a lot of cases, airlines are now collecting more money from seat fees than from the hated baggage fees. So what do you think about this, G?
Yeah, it's cold-blooded. and I don't like it. In Alaska, I have been noticing that you all are doing it, and other airlines are doing it as well, Delta and all of those. You know, I just pay for the fee. And what's happening is, Ursula, you can choose between those middle seats back by the lavatory. You can get those. So if you get the saver price, you can get those. Or if you want to sit in this aisle seat, it'll be a little bit more. Or in this aisle seat, a little bit closer to the business class, it'll be a little bit more. Or if you want to sit in the exit row, you got to pay for that now. By the way, it used to be, the exit row used to be almost one of those first come, first serve type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like you get on there, you get your flight early enough, boom, you get that exit seat. Ursula, what's happening is that even though people should not be, because the economy is doing what it's doing, right? People are not slowing down flying. I don't know where everybody getting all this money from.
Well, they're going into debt. A lot of them. Unfortunately, but especially after the pandemic, I think a lot of people they were cooped up. And so, we're seeing this big increase in the number of people who are traveling. And I think that's great. But the airlines are also justifying it by saying all the costs that are going up for all you, they're going up for us too. So we are going to now start charging. And if you don't want to be that passenger who has to sit in the middle seat and you cannot fly with any sort of luggage, then you're going to have to be willing to pay more, essentially.
You don't mind, do you?
And by the way, just this last time I went to Vegas, I sat in the middle seat and I said to myself, this is what you get for not being willing to pay $32 extra for another seat. And I was like, you can't complain. You're just going to have to grin and bear it. And it turned out I was sitting next to very nice people. But they're just dinging us left and right. And that's just kind of it's either going to be built into a price that you pay more, or if you think you're going to get one of those discounts, you're going to end up paying more.
Well, they just like with tipping, right? They should just include everything in the cost of the ticket. I do not accept. Remember how we've been talking about the rise of air rage? Well, it's the airlines themselves that are really creating this situation. When you nickel and dime people for every little thing, and you create the baggage competition when you get on the plane to stuff your bag in, and people have all this anxiety about, what seat am I going to get? What seat am I going to get? It's going to cost. I'm going to my bag in and get my seat. People flip out. Like, the whole experience of travel is stressful, and the airlines make it worse.
And another thing, and I feel bad. I don't know if you guys remember the story how the one person wanted to sit in my seat and wanted me to come in the back.
Yes. And your seat in first class?
No, this one I was not on first class. I was actually in the business class part. But anyways, there's this thing now where a lot of times, so if you travel with multiple people, 3 and 4 people, some of these airlines now, in order for you to sit together, you're going to have to pay a higher premium. And
yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's, I don't know. It's just.
And you know how you
like
can
your
fight
kids.
that? Don't fly that airline. The thing
you did. Then you got to go to Spirit in them and Frontier.
Yeah, gee, join the rest of us.
You know what? Actually,
gee, you are such an elitist when it comes to traveling. When it comes to flying, sorry. Yeah, sometimes I do fly Spirit or Frontier or whatever's going to get me a good deal. And I realize that, you know what? Trying to find ways to cut those corners may mean I may be inconvenienced. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to be inconvenienced or do you want to pay more? Sometimes if it's $20 or $40, okay, forget it. I'll pay the additional $40. If you're talking about several $100s, there's a difference.
Some of these situations are you're paying an extra $100. Man, that's not cool.
You know what? I refuse to pay it from here on out. Whenever I fly with my kids, somebody else can have to deal with them the whole flight. I'm going to be on the other side of the plane. You deal with a whiny 4-year-old and a whiny 8-year-old.
That's funny, too.
Yeah, have a blast. Watch how quick they'll switch back. Okay, so Alec Baldwin's controversial film Rust is coming out. Obviously, this is a controversy because somebody died from a loaded weapon with a live ammunition in it on the set. Helena Hutchins was her name. Ursula, what do you think about people watching this? Like, is this a movie you should watch? Should it even be out?
Given everything that happened, I have zero desire to watch it. Should it be out? I mean, there were other people besides Alec Baldwin who were involved in this movie, and people know what it entailed. For some, that might create more intrigue, but for me, it's just a big turnoff. I have zero interest in him or the movie, and I think it's just tragic what happened. But should it be banned from coming out? On what basis? Just morally
no, the studio.
Not correct?
I mean, like...
Yeah, a studio that has spent tens of millions of dollars creating that movie, producing that movie, is not going to not air it or let it release.
I'm sorry. I have zero interest in seeing this movie. Right? I don't care.
I know.
I have zero interest. And I don't even think you're listening right now and you're like, oh, I want to see that movie that's been talked about for so much considering what happened and Alec Baldwin and everything. I don't care.
Yeah. It reminds me of like The Crow with Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, because he was killed on the set of that movie. Except this time it was, somebody in the support crew. It's just an awful movie. I don't want to watch it. I don't think it should be out. It's like one of those situations you just wish somebody would do the right thing and eat the money. Gee, I got to ask about some new school etiquette. So a YouGov poll from last year found that less than half of Americans are willing to answer the door when a stranger knocks.
Woo!
And 75% of millennials and Gen Z don't answer it at all. Should you be answering the door these days? Is it rude to not answer?
Baby boomers, y'all the worst. Then next is Gen X. Gen Z and Alpha and all them, they are smarter than we were. They know that answering the door, opening the door for everybody is the dumbest thing in the world. It is so unsafe. I don't understand. As a matter of fact, my own wife had a situation where it's just, hello? Like, don't just open the door.
Don't you ask?
Especially when I'm not home. One time she was at home and we're sitting here at a commercial break. I'm looking at my phone in the Ring camera and she opens the door. Like, no, I don't want you opening the door for nobody.
Do door-to-door salespeople still exist?
Yes.
Hey, that was my
yes,
calling card.
I know.
You know I used to do it.
Can you imagine trying to do it now?
Now
I mean, I've had a few door knocks when it comes to people with political pamphlets.
Yeah.
Or people oh, I'm doing some work down the street, and I was in,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
interested in having your gutters done? That kind of
Lawn
thing.
care,
I'm
that
just
kind of
like,
thing.
good grief.
I told you my secret. As someone who prided himself off door to door, I had some good stuff first. The one thing you can't do when you knock on that door and or hit the doorbell, Ring cameras make it a different time. I didn't do any sales when Ring was around. But what you do is sometimes people knock on the door and they stand right there.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Back
you got
off.
to back up.
Yeah.
You got to back up. So you hit the ding dong and then you back up. And then once you back up and you see that someone comes to the door, you see the peephole or you see them kind of hit the blinds, you put your hands in the air.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Hands up,
It's
like I'm not
hands up.
armed?
No,
Hey.
I'm being serious.
Hi.
Hello.
And
Hello?
your voice goes up.
Oh,
a few
yeah.
octaves?
You take
Okay.
all bass out your voice, Ursula. You could have zero bass. You got to be that beta male for a second. You know what I mean? Hello. Hey, sorry to bother you.
Yes.
So you automatically get the negative out of the way.
Yes.
Sorry to bother you.
Yes.
You're like, oh, okay, this dude knows I'm bothered.
Yes.
Bam. We take care of that. Hey, ma'am, sir, I was in the area.
Clearly.
And it was just bam. Just want to show you this. Hold this.
Yes. Like, what was your percentage of people responding positively?
Okay. Well, first of all, if you open the door.
Yes.
If you open the door.
Yes.
Oh, baby, I'm 50-50. Now, if I can get it in your hand, 75%.
Oh, okay.
And if I get you to say, well, come on in. Oh, that's 100%.
Dude, what were you,
oh my gosh.
What were you selling? Remind me, Cutco knives or what?
Knives, pots and pans, calculators, Disney children's books, and all that. I'm telling y'all right now, I was good, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was so good. I got in radio hustling too.
you got into the Seahawks cleaning cars. I mean, hello.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Your boy.
No, I know.
Your boy was good as door-to-door sales. However, don't be opening these doors, especially kids, young folks, ladies. Don't really open these doors. It's just dangerous.
So do you pretend that you're? Because what I do is either I ask, who is it, or I'm looking out and making sure I know who it is. And if not, I'll just say, if I don't know who it is or I don't feel comfortable, say, sorry, not interested.
Right. That's it.
Oh.
That's it. And even if you are interested, Ursula, I'm just saying this, and some of you sales people might be mad, but I'm talking to Ursula as if she's in my family. Ursula, even if you are interested in what that person has in their hands, or you could see clearly that they're a roofing company or something like that, if you're home alone, no.
I answer the door every time. I'm just like,
Okay, wait.
what do you want? Who are you?
You open it every time?
Sure.
Some of y'all still live in neighborhoods where you leave the door open. I leave my door open all the time. Just come on in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to touch base on some phone etiquette here. Wall Street Journal says there's one thing that you should never do on your phone in public.
What's that?
It's a relatively new phenomenon, and that would be constant FaceTiming. So, people get upset about someone being on the phone. Well, now it's a two-way conversation. They say that's exponentially worse. Gee, do you think it's rude to FaceTime in public?
Probably. If I liked FaceTiming, I don't like to FaceTime. So I just don't. So it's easy for me to say, sure, it is. But if I did like to FaceTime, I'd probably be guilty. I'm already the worst when it comes to playing videos on his phone. I'm an old man in that case, like, hello. So it's terrible. So I think FaceTime might be a little bit rude. Especially if you don't have headphones in or something like that.
Yeah, it all depends on where you're talking about and what kind of conversation. I think it's just as rude whether you FaceTime or have a loud conversation. You know that there are some people who love to make sure that everyone is listening in on their conversation. That's annoying. But sometimes, you do have to take a call, and it is in public.
Sure.
And, I mean, there's just ways that you can do it without being annoying and without imposing on other people. And I think the same thing would be on FaceTime. I just use it so rarely. I only use FaceTime, honestly, when I'm talking to my relatives in foreign countries.
Right. See, I actually don't understand because I have the reaction. It annoys me when people, have a phone call at a table next to me. Why is it that it is annoying and we think it's rude for someone to be on the phone in public, but not to have a conversation with someone standing right next to us? What is it that makes us feel like, oh, look at Mr. Important over here. You must be closing deals or something. But like people can be standing right next to you, having the exact same volume of conversation, and it's completely socially normal and acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it makes much sense that it is rude to be on the phone in public. It's not like most people are generally louder on the phone than they are talking to someone 4 feet away across the table.
I'm loud everywhere.
That's true. That's true. All right, it is Cinco de Mayo today. If you're unfamiliar with the holiday's history, it is relatively minor in Mexico. It celebrates the victory of the Battle of Puebla of Mexican forces over the French, yada, yada.
Back in 1862.
But basically, it's a giant drinking holiday here. Gee, what do you think about the drinking holiday culture in Cinco de Mayo?
I'm older now, so there's a lot of things. We have a lot of opinions that change over the years.
So in your heyday, what did you do on Cinco de Mayo?
Toe up from the flow up.
What does that mean?
Give me all the tequila you can.
Suddenly you were Mexican for the day? Is that what you're saying?
And for some reason, I never worried about May 6th. So if May 6th was a Saturday or a Tuesday, it was all the same for me because your boy wasn't, whatever about the car.
You took advantage of all the Cinco de Mayo,
St. Patrick's Day, every holiday.
Happy hours. You were looking at all the great deals that they have on Cinco de Mayo.
I never 420 though. I never.
Yeah.
But Ursula, for all those that are having fun, go have fun.
Yeah.
What a responsibility. What a day. What an opportunity to go have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a party pooper.
But understand what it's about too, because a lot of people think Cinco de Mayo is actually the Mexican Independence Day, which is actually in September. So don't try to pretend that you really are celebrating something that you understand unless you really do understand it. And as Chef said, it was celebrating the Mexican army's victory over the much bigger French army.
See, I'm conflicted this year because normally I can't stand Cinco de Mayo because it's such a cultural appropriation excuse to drink too much. But this year I'm like, maybe I should support some of the Mexican businesses in our area. There's like 600 Mexican restaurants in King County alone. And I think I should, actually. I'm going to have some Mexican food today. Because there's a lot of folks that need some support.
And I will say that
with their community under attack, right?
I love Mexican food.
You cannot, by the way, you cannot say, I love Asian food, Mexican food, Thai, whatever, Filipino food, and be okay with mass deportations. Because that does not happen without those communities here.
Hey, Ursula, did I tell you, I was doing door-to-door sales. The year is 1997, and I was in East LA. I think I've told this story before. At this particular day, I was actually selling pots and pans and knives this day. I mean, great deals. I mean, the pans.
Great deals.
The pans were cheap. Okay, I just want to tell you guys. It's the same pans that you see at like dollar store and all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going around and I'm selling the pans. I mean, they're $10. I mean, and they are going like hotcakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm doing my thing. I mean, it's a great day. People are buying them in East LA. So I get to this one door and I'm like, "Hello, how you doing?" And she opens the door and she kind of looks outside. She was like, "Are you by yourself?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, my partner is down." She was like, "Yeah, come inside." And so I come inside and I'm like, she's like, "Wait, yeah, they're getting ready to rob you." So she brings me inside and she's like, "Hey, go out the back door." Yes.
Are you serious?
And
how did she know they were about to rob?
Oh no, I ain't asked. Oh no. I went out and by the way, I didn't even know that could have been a setup. So I go outside, out of the back, run out, and I'm telling y'all I'm going through the alley like OJ in a Hertz commercial.
I thought that story was going in a different direction.
Hey, coming up next, the Mariners. Are you on the bandwagon yet? Well, we're going to see next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Ron is a musician.
Guitar is my love, and the thought of losing that ability was devastating.
You see, Ron was suffering from osteoarthritis.
I was starting to have pain, especially in my right thumb. I had gone to an orthopedic specialist, and they were coming up with options like fusing the joints together.
That's when Ron decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
The results are astounding. I couldn't have imagined it working as effectively as it has.
You'd recommend this to other people?
Oh, wholeheartedly. I am quite the fan of the stem cell therapy.
So, whether it's a shoulder, hip, knee, or even your thumb, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm singing from rooftops. Go see Dr. Wagner.
It's John Curley with a big deal from Window Nation. During their semi-annual sale, right now, get 60% off. And if you buy windows for your entire house, you get a free exterior door, too. And you could get 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments locked in for 2 years. Their energy-efficient windows help cut noise, lower your bills, and reduce your carbon footprint, all with modern style. Backed by a 25-year warranty and transparent pricing, Window Nation gives you the long-lasting comfort without the gimmicks. Made locally with Milgard right here in Tacoma, 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement?
Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Wednesday is the deadline to get your Real ID, the enhanced driver's license you'll need to board airplanes. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
It is a busy time for many Department of Licensing buildings in Western Washington.
Just trying to get my enhanced driver's license.
But if you think you can get an appointment before May 7th,
and it just kept saying no availability, so.
Thomas Charlson with the Department of Licensing says
most of them are being booked out pretty quickly. So we're looking at June if you want to try to get an appointment.
So that you don't have to carry a passport or any other form of ID to fly.
You can try your luck without an appointment, but walk-ups are waiting for hours in line. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is at SeaTac Airport. He says if you're flying today, double-check your flight. Problems at Newark Liberty Airport in New Jersey are throwing a monkey wrench throughout the entire system nationwide.
Nearly half of all the flights heading for Newark yesterday, including those from here in Seattle, were delayed. What's going on? It's a staffing shortage in a key air traffic control center that has forced the FAA to essentially slow down the nation's 12th busiest airport. The transportation secretary says cracks are starting to show in the nation's air traffic control system.
More than 320 flights have been canceled since Friday. The Department of Homeland Security says it is offering to pay migrants who are in the U.S. illegally $1,000 to leave on their own. They'd get the money after customs officials confirmed they'd gone back to their home countries. President Trump is directing the government to reopen Alcatraz to, quote, house America's most ruthless and violent offenders.
Alcatraz, notorious and closed since 1963 because of high operating costs. A report said Alcatraz was over 3 times more expensive to run than the average American prison. It was open for 3 decades. Capacity 336. Al Capone served time there. It was said to be escape-proof. Alcatraz is on an island just over a mile off the San Francisco coast. It's now a tourist attraction run by the National Park Service, drawing 1.5 million visitors a year. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Heads up if you still owe on student loans. Starting today, the Department of Education says borrowers who do not pay on time could damage their credit scores and even have their wages garnished. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 112 points. NASDAQ is down 21. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, there is a power outage along Airport Way South from South Portland to South Industrial Way. Treat all flashing signals as all way stops. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 northbound at Northeast 30th Street. Travel time Renton to Bellevue 20 minutes. That's still about 5 minutes longer than typical. And construction, as well as an earlier crash, has you slow on State Route 18 from Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the upper 60s. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us on this gorgeous Monday. This is perfect weather. perfect spring weather, I gotta say. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And I want to talk about our Seattle Mariners because, they fell short of the sweep yesterday, but they still won their series in Arlington over the weekend against the Texas Rangers.
And again, the 1-2 to Garcia. Swing and a miss, strike three. The ball game is over. The Mariners have won 8 consecutive series to tie a Mariner Club record.
Now, the M's are still on the top of the AL West with a record of 20-13. They're going to be heading to Sacramento to take on the Athletics for 3 games before returning home to take on the Blue Jays for Mother's Day weekend. But the reason I wanted to chat with you about this is because it's just been such a long time, I feel, since we've been talking about the Seattle Mariners like this. And I'm curious if you think that we will get to the point where the Seattle Mariners' success gives us the same feeling like the Seahawks do
it'd be
when
better.
They're on a run.
It'd be better. I've been telling everyone this. An extremely successful baseball season would be felt better than a successful football season. Why? I'll tell you why. To keep it simple, football is once a week, right? You play the game on Sunday, you respond about it on Monday, we're talking about it at work around the water cooler, and then we got to wait for that next Sunday. Usually the best weather is usually in September-ish, in the beginning of October. Well, when there's winning Mariner baseball, that's in the summertime. That's what good weather. And I remember 2001, and for all of those listening right now, you remember what 2001 was like. It was awesome. Oh, the All-Star game was here that year too. Life was good. 45,000 at the time it was Safeco. At Safeco Field all the time, and now at T-Mobile Park, people are start coming. The Blue Jays are going to come this weekend, and then you got the Yankees that's going to be here Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So I have been on the bandwagon. I love this Mariner team, and the reason why is so many people were saying that they were going to be not good this year.
I know. So they're beating expectations. I want to bring Nick into this conversation because I think you are through thick and thin, you have been the strongest supporter of the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, and it's been really exciting to watch him lately. But, just based on last season and what happened when they were up 10 games in the West in June, July area, I'm still holding my guard to see if it's going to be real or not. But here's the reason why I have more hope this year than last year, because the guys that you don't even expect to be pulling through for us are the guys that are pulling through for us, because we've got a plethora of injuries with pitching and offense. And let me give you a stat here. From April 9th to last Saturday, we're first in runs, home runs, average, and on-base percentage. Basically, that means our offense is carrying the team. We're getting on base, and we're scoring runs. And so we're not even seeing the best of the best in a team, with Gilbert hurt, George Kirby just playing in Tacoma. He hasn't even made a season debut. Matt Brash just coming in his debut this last weekend. So it's exciting to see the fans coming together on this winning streak that they're on based on guys that we didn't even expect to see. So this question is for everyone. And Ursula, I want you to answer first. Nick started off with, and there's a lot of people that have texted me and trying to remind me about the 10 games. Matter of fact, we talked about them last season when they were up 10 games in first place, and then we all know what happened. They blew that. I want to ask this. In your life, when you start getting positive momentum going and things are starting to go well for you, do you automatically think back to when you failed? Do you go back when things are rolling for you? Do you go back and be like, yeah, it's going good, but I want to chill out because the last time I got this momentum going, I failed?
That's always lingering in the back of my head.
Okay.
But I bask in the moment of what I'm dealing with at this present time if I'm feeling that success.
Yeah.
I'll even just bring it to my job. Every day I think, gosh, I'm so lucky to be doing this show that we're doing. I mean, when we first started, did I think that we were going to last beyond a year? It really hadn't happened with a female talk host, right? And throwing you and I together, it was a risk in that we'd never even done a practice show. We did one before we launched. And so always in the back of my head, I've been here this is just the way my mind works. I've been here 36 years. I've had a great time, and I'm enjoying myself right now. But there's always a chance my key card might not work someday. I try to put it to the back of my head. You know what I mean? But there's always that. There is the possibility. So I shouldn't be counting on everything. I always need to have a backup plan.
And you know what, Ursula? I feel that, and that's cool. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because so many people have, like, whenever I tweet about them, like, yeah, you just hold on, you just wait. Remember last year? And I think, Ursula, some people really have it in the back of their mind of what happened yesterday. My theory is take the rear view mirror out of your life. Take it out and go forward. And speaking of our show, Ursula, that's how I've been feeling ever since I walked into these doors. The first time I met you 10 years ago when I came in.
Yes.
The fact that these people are fooled enough to keep letting me come back. I didn't think I would make it 6 months. A year. And then look, after it was 2 years.
But you do remember I had a conversation with you. I said, you were really talented.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you told me. But you see what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Even where we are today, I don't think about, like, losing. Like, no matter what happens tomorrow, we winning. We winning right now. So if you're a Mariner fan or you want to jump on. Enjoy it. They just tied a franchise record with 8 series wins in a row. Stop right there. Full stop. And if you didn't enjoy that, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I think that what I hear from Nick, lifelong fan, is that he knows that things can turn on a dime like they did, when the Mariners have had great success early on in the season. So he doesn't want to get his hopes dashed.
Microcosm of life.
But I like the point you made, G, because you know what? I think that message is being sent in the clubhouse by Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez. They have made a huge difference to this team right now. You say it again. Culture makes a huge difference for a team. Look at the Browns. They haven't had much success in their history. The Mariners, too. Their culture's switching. Their winning success could as well.
Hey, and by the way, I just want to give a shout out because some of y'all been here since day one. And I just want to say hello to the folks that were here day one that said, you guys are going to get canceled soon. And I just want to say thank you for still staying with the show. I appreciate you. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, your text messages, feedback, and then let's see how Ursula sums up the day with words to live by.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7.
It's an exciting night at my house last night. Nick came home. She was all excited. This shirt she found was $80. So she's sitting there talking to me, and all of a sudden she goes, I can't breathe. Cut me out of it. I was like, cut you out of it? It was $80. I got it for $11. Why'd you even buy it? Because it was $80. I got it for $11. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it was so cheap.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you for full details and disclaimer.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Sharp Vision modern LASIK lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning. Happy Monday. It is Cinco de Mayo. Ursula, you got the text messages for us? What you got for us?
On the head of the police union thinking that it cannot be true that violent crime is down because he says that one of the reasons is people just aren't calling 911 as much to report crimes. Connie in Seattle says, I find most negative comments about Seattle coming from people who do not live here.
Tom in Marysville says, tired of people that bellyache about Seattle and Portland. They both have come a long way. I got rolled once in 72 on First Avenue.
Kevin in Seattle says, I believe many who want Seattle to fail see it as a symbol of liberal politics. That makes it easy for people who haven't been here in years to comment about how terrible life is here. Meanwhile, we bask in the glow of our beautiful new waterfront, magnificent scenery, lower crime rates, cleaner streets, and awesome sports teams. I'm not sure what it's going to take to change their minds, but I find myself caring less and less if they ever do.
Oh. Save that one. Student loans. Irene in Tacoma says, I think everyone who has a student loans with what amounts to predatory interest rates should be able to refinance those. If anyone has paid beyond a certain percentage of their original loan, 150 to 200%, it should be dismissed.
On Redmond, transformed by light rail, MEC in Federal Way says, my friend and I rode light rail from Angle Lake to attend the Seattle Symphony last week. Great ride, no stress.
Our good buddy Ed in Ballard says, as a delivery driver, I love light rail and our public transit systems. The more Washington drivers that we can get off the roads, the safer we'll be.
Paul in DuPont says, I have paid $14,000 in card tab taxes for light rail. I have used it 4 times now, so it has cost me $3,500 a trip. I would use it if it had a Tacoma station, but I'm sure I will never see that in my lifetime. It's 7 years behind schedule.
Scenarios. I caught my mom sneaking a guy into my home while on vacation. She's been married for 30 years. Mike in Portland says this exact same scenario happened to me about 40 years ago when I caught my dad on the telephone with another woman. And I picked up the phone in the other room and eavesdropped on the conversation. I told my mom about it. Damn, Mike. I told my mom about it, and it was immediately World War II. At our house, they divorced, and our family was never the same. But in retrospect, I would not have done anything differently than the way I did. Wow.
I know, that's what I said, too.
Mike, that must have been, I wonder if that was hard on you, Mike.
Yeah, he's
As a
one of our
kid.
regular texters.
Yeah.
So,
Man, Mike.
seat fees on airlines. 206 says, I get motion sickness and I need to have a window seat. I shouldn't have to pay more to get that seat. If you want me to not pay and sit in the middle seat, you can clean up my puke.
Chantel from the UP. Chantel from the UP says, not sitting people together unless they pay an extra $100 a ticket should be a crime. We normally fly Delta, and my husband wants to boycott them now because of their $100 ticket fee to sit together. I don't care where we sit on the plane as long as we're together. I don't want to pay extra for that.
On FaceTiming in public, Cliff says, we were on the rental car shuttle bus this weekend, and some loud talker was closing a deal. They just need another $500 or $1 million. I was rolling my eyes the entire trip.
Do you answer the door? Tita says, we are on the Marysville Tulalip Granite Falls crime page on Facebook, and every day there are stories and photos, videos of people trying to open doors, ring bells, etc., trying to figure out which houses are alone and learning your schedules. Ooh. All right, Ursula, it's now time for your words to live by. What do you got?
I love this. It's very simple, but just talking about being respectful when people have different opinions than you. Once you figure out what respect tastes like, it tastes better than attention, but you have to get there first.
Good stuff. That's a good one. It tastes like attention. Yeah, that was good.
Tasty.
Hey, what do you got there, Brother Nick?
Better than attention.
Yeah, it is. I know for most it's been a manic Monday in the news, and if you're like me, it's recently been giving you the blues. But to see the bright side, winning times are here for Mariner fans while we take Cinco de Mayo in with sunshine in our plans. So a happy time for all who celebrate the 5th of May. Just be careful what you're showing G to eat that's on display. Tacos are fine, but the meatballs, they could be questionable, especially if they're spicy too.
Gabby taught Matthew the Macarena. He does it really well now.
Oh, no.
Oh, does he?
I can just imagine.
Can I ask you guys this?
Okay.
If the Macarena song comes on, and even though if you know how to do it, would you do it still today? There's no way. I'm never doing that dance ever again.
I never learned, but I heard, wait a minute, we've got a few seconds here. You were taking some line dancing classes. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah,
You dropped out?
I dropped out.
What happened?
I just been busy.
Oh.
I need to get back on it.
Did you pick it up pretty quickly?
No. No.
There could be another reason why then.
Yes, maybe that's the real reason.
No, and I feel bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel bad. I need to get back on it. I turned on YouTube the other day, and I was trying to learn some of the stuff. Oh, man.
Bucket list. I want to learn how to ballroom dance. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
It's okay to just say, this isn't for me.
No. I have to get it done. As a matter.
Oh.
Okay, so, all right, full disclosure, I have to fly. I fly this weekend and next weekend. But the next weekend, I have to fly for an event. And I know I need to know how to do a couple line dances for this event. So I actually got to get on it. So matter of fact, when I head home today, I'm gonna get on YouTube. All right, Ursula, we gotta do this again tomorrow.
You will.
All right. By the way,
Enjoy
Ursula,
the sunshine today.
You look springy today.
I'm very springy.
Chef, love your hat today too. Was that on purpose?
Always is.
That's because you was talking about the Lakewood Police Department today. Hey, Nick, appreciate you.
You
The
too,
Jake
man.
and Spike Show comes in next. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board